Cardiovascular Institute of the South is celebrating 40 years of delivering healthcare to our patients and communities. Founded by Dr. Craig Walker in 1983 and guided by a mission to provide the highest quality cardiovascular care available, CIS has pioneered hundreds of firsts to improve outcomes for cardiovascular diseases. Through new technology, virtual care, outpatient procedures, and national growth, CIS is improving lives and leading the way for advanced care and innovation.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. Time to check in with Assumption Parish for a couple of segments. We'll go to Napoleonville, where Lonnie Cavalier for the Assumption Parish Sheriff's Public Information Officer is there. Commander Lonnie, how you doing, man? How's things going? Y'all ready for the holidays? I guess we're in between holidays, but y'all ready for Christmas, New Year's, and headed into Mardi Gras?
Yeah, we're getting ready. It's generally a busy time for us, and we always add some, have some add-ons on the road, and to try to manage whatever. But going from fireworks to domestic, we end up trying to keep us a little extra help on board.
Yeah, and these roads are real slick right now too. And I know we're doing a grinding season for the cane trucks and all that. But yeah, it's a slick time of season as we're doing all that. So I know it's a tough time on the road. We got a couple of different things to talk about. We're going to start with the Jamari Maddox, who was the first person.
Yes, Jamari Jakai Maddox, 18 and 107 Judith Street, Houma, Louisiana, was arrested on multiple felony charges arising from a traffic incident originating on the LA1 north of Highway 400 south of Napoleonville. A uniformed patrol deputy observed a southbound vehicle traveling extremely slow on the roadway and committing lane violations. After following the vehicle for some point, the deputy attempted a stop of the vehicle. The driver accelerated at a high rate of speed and engaged the deputy in a pursuit situation. The suspect vehicle traveled LA1 into Lafourche Parish, crossed Bayou Lafourche at Highway 3185, and headed northbound back into Assumption Parish. The deputy pursued the suspect onto Highway 70 spur and then onto Highway 70 east, at which time the suspect driver attempted to turn into a business parking lot. The suspect vehicle ran off of the parking lot and became embedded into a mud and water area. The suspect fled on foot, but was quickly apprehended. During the pursuit, the suspect tossed numerous items from the vehicle. Jamari Jakai Maddox was arrested and booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of aggravated flight from an officer, illegal possession of stolen goods, resisting an officer, 2 counts, switched license plates, driving on roadway lanes for traffic. It was further determined that Jamari Jakai Maddox was wanted on a fugitive warrant in Terrebonne Parish. Investigating deputies, at the conclusion of their investigation, determined that this vehicle the suspect was operating had been stolen in East Baton Rouge Parish. Jamari Jakai Maddox remains incarcerated with bond set at $120,000 and will be sent to Terrebonne Parish upon satisfying local charges here.
Yeah, that's when you read about that presented a dangerous situation. You got a 2-lane highway, and then you got a high-speed chase on there. That's got to be a dangerous situation. You guys use extreme caution, I would imagine.
Well, time-wise, it was a good time for it. If it was going to happen, it was light traffic. Obviously, the speeds were ridiculously high, in excess of 100 miles an hour for most of the route. So we were, anxious to try to get this thing shut down as quick as possible. And we ended up having to chase the guy all the way to the Assumption Ascension line. So covered a lot of territory in a little while.
Well, yeah, and it's good that at least there was no traffic that he's weaving in and out in a roadway like that. So, something definitely good to stop that whenever you can. All right, our next one will be from Belrose and Malik Shabazz.
Yes, Malik Abdullah Shabazz, 51 of 28 Virginia Street, Belrose, was arrested on multiple felony charges arising from a suspicious vehicle investigation at a business establishment in the 7,000 block of LA1 in Belrose. A uniformed patrol deputy observed 2 vehicles without license plates parked at the location, and proceeded to investigate. The deputy made contact with the two drivers, one of which is now identified as Malik Abdullah Shabazz. The deputy engaged Shabazz in an officer violator interview. The deputy noted that Shabazz could provide no documentation related to ownership of the vehicle he was driving. During the interview process, the deputy noted a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage emitting from the person of Malik Abdullah Shabazz. Deputies performed field sobriety tests upon Shabazz, of which he performed poorly. Deputies conducted a personal pat-down search incidental to the arrest of Shabazz and seized a quantity of suspected marijuana. Deputies arrested Shabazz and secured a search warrant to obtain a blood specimen. That drawing was conducted at an approved local health care facility. Malik Abdullah Shabazz was arrested and booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of driving while intoxicated, third offense, possession with intent to distribute synthetic marijuana, no license plate, driving under a suspended driver's license, vehicle registration violations. Malik Abdullah Shabazz remains incarcerated in the Assumption Parish Detention Facility with his bond set at $85,000.
Lonnie, as we keep going through these, something comes up over and time again where you're talking about license plates. They either don't have license plates or they change license plate. Is that a big issue? I know it was a big issue in New Orleans and in Baton Rouge that a lot of people were using these temporary license plates they were making themselves. Are y'all seeing that a lot in Assumption Parish?
Yeah, yes, we are, and it is a popular thing, and generally speaking, when you see that, there's a couple of things going on. One, the vehicle could be stolen, or two, the vehicle is generally uninsured and unregistered, up to date. And we do see it. It's something we see on a regular basis.
Yeah, and I guess it's almost a giveaway, though. If you're a police officer and you see one of those cars, it seems like it would almost be a giveaway. So, that's something that especially insurance-wise, I guess y'all deal with, huh?
It's a huge red flag. The minute you see it, there's problems. Probably uninsured. Could be stolen. Could be running drugs. It's difficult to see, but you need to be, aware that when that plate comes back and it doesn't belong on that vehicle, that there is something else going on.
Yeah. Okay, Lonnie. We'll take a break. We have some more to come, so stay with us right here on Bayou Time.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.
Hey, welcome back to Bayou Time. We're spending some time with Commander Lonnie Cavalier of the Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office. And Lonnie, next case, we always talk about the long arm of the law. This one reached all the way into Texas to get somebody that you guys were looking for, right?
Yes, Mark Anthony Williams, 33 years of age, of 442 Peggy Drive, Thibodaux, Louisiana, was arrested on a warrant charging him with failure to appear in court in Assumption Parish, as well as a warrant charging him with a probation violation. Mark Anthony Williams was arrested in Assumption Parish on felony drug charges, and as a result of that arrest, was ordered to appear in court on September 9, 2024. Mark Anthony Williams failed to appear as ordered, resulting in a warrant being issued for his arrest. Mark Anthony Williams was arrested in Harris County, Texas, on the warrants from Assumption Parish. Mark Anthony Williams was received from the Harris County Sheriff's Office on Friday, December 6, 2024, and booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on a charge of failure to appear in court in Assumption Parish on September 9, 2024, on counts of unlawful possession of a controlled dangerous substance, Schedule 1, without a prescription, and possession with intent to distribute marijuana, and a detainer from probation and parole. Mark Anthony Williams was ordered held in the Assumption Parish Detention Center without bond.
So, Lonnie, when you on a felony charge like that, and you don't show up, and you go to a different state, and you try and run, what does that do when you go to court? And I guess the judge is going to probably take that into consideration, I would think.
Well, the judge the way it works here is that the judge that actually issued the warrant is going to be the judge that's gonna decide bail and extradition issues and so forth. So and all of our judges here they take it very, very seriously when you don't show up in court as ordered. And as you can see in the last few of these segments we've done, these guys are being ordered held without bail. So they're going to sit and then they will be in court the next time if it's up to these judges.
Because they're not going anywhere, right?
They're not leaving.
Yeah. And so would that end up in that same courtroom, or does another judge get that case, or would it be determined later?
Well, it's going to be, it goes back to the original allotment. The judge that issued the warrant is going to be the judge that's going to set the bail. And generally, that would be the judge that it was allotted to. But we've had some judges that went to the Court of Appeals here recently. So we've had a couple of judges replaced. And we had an election for a new judgeship that just occurred, and she's going to take office in January. So, it's basically whatever judge issues that warrant is going to be the judge is going to decide his fate at the end of the day.
I understand. So, that'll be interesting, and that's not a great way to be starting off when you're trying to present yourself for trial. All right, our last one is a pretty interesting case as well, and it's Jamari Maddox.
Now, I have Brad Joseph.
Oh, I'm sorry, to Revere. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself or behind myself. Yeah, we have a Revere, huh?
Right. Brad Joseph Revere, 41 of 164 Joe Lamar Street, Napoleonville, was arrested on felony charges related to him improperly and illegally identifying himself as a peace officer. On December 3rd, 2024, the Assumption Parish Sheriff's Communications Office received a number of calls from Brad J. Revere regarding a civil matter. At some point, Revere went to the sheriff's main annex on Franklin Street in Napoleonville. Detectives met with Brad Joseph Revere, at which time he identified himself as a federal law enforcement officer and demanded to see the sheriff. Revere repeatedly identified himself as a federal law enforcement officer to Assumption Parish detectives in an attempt to enhance the result of the civil issue he originally complained of. Detectives were very familiar with Revere as they had prior knowledge that he was a convicted sex offender and was registered in Assumption Parish. Brad Joseph Revere was arrested and booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of false personation of a peace officer and a detainer from the Louisiana Department of Corrections as a probation violator. Revere remains incarcerated with bond set at $25,000 on the false personation charge, and he was ordered held without bond on the probation violation. Additionally, Brad Revere was charged with multiple felony counts arising from an incident which occurred inside the detention facility on December 4, 2024. As corrections officers and deputies attempted to relocate Brad Joseph Revere within the correctional facility, he physically attacked the officers. Deputies were able to restrain Revere. In connection with that incident, Brad Joseph Revere was booked on charges of battery of a police officer, 2 counts, felony, disarming of a police officer, a felony, and resisting an officer with force or violence, a felony. Brad Joseph Revere remains incarcerated and awaits a bond hearing in connection with those additional charges.
Yeah, so he went there kind of trying to help himself with a civil case, trying to intimidate somebody, and he ends up with all these felonies. Not a real good day for him.
Well, small parish, and our detectives were very familiar with Mr. Revere. They knew him, and they were, somewhat confused that he was attempting to identify himself as a federal peace officer. That caught everybody's attention real quick.
Right.
Became a security issue because he was there demanding on speaking to the sheriff because he was dissatisfied with the issue of it being a civil matter and not one that we could deal with his problem.
All right, Lonnie. Well, we appreciate the updates. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys, for
Okay,
having us.
we'll be
Appreciate
right back
y'all.
with more Bayou Time right after this.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.